Yeah, that's quite good, isn't it?
Yeah.
How are you anyway?
I'm well. Can you hear this?
No?
I'm delighted to be joined by a special guest for the finale episode of The Fifth Cheese. It's the man who knows if you've been good or bad this year, as his little minions watch your every move. The officiator of the Naughty or Nice list. It's the man in red himself. Thanks for joining us. How you feeling?
Yes. Oh, splendid, absolutely wonderful. How about you?
I'm feeling good. I'm very festive. I've got the trees up in the background, as I am at Hogwarts. So yeah, it's all good.
Hold on. What's this you've given me behind? What's all this about?
I just thought we'd keep it, festive. I know I told you to just leave the green screen there, and I'll just sort of insert something in. So I'll just pick that out at random. Really.
I'm not really sure about this. It's not very me.
I have that as well as a magician. When your job is your hobby, it can be annoying to see. Every year there's something to do. I just I don't know. I can change it if you want.
Well, I don't know. It just doesn't. I don't know. It looks a bit chilly. I'm used to being somewhat warmer.
Well, doing your job, I imagine you must be very cold internally. How do you cope?
Well, I mean, what you mean spiritually cold?
Sure, yeah.
Well, yes, I suppose at my core, I am as cold as a corpse, I would imagine. Although that said, a lot of the corpses that have spent time with have actually been rather on the warm side.
For you, is Christmas a religious or more secular holiday?
I'm not a big fan of the C word. Do we have to discuss that?
Well, I'd like some clarification. It's interesting. We get a lot of questions at the Fifth Cheese every year, and there's always some questions about what's your relationship with the big man? Do you get orders from Jesus, or do you do your own thing since you're in charge?
I do not take orders from Jesus.
Right.
Absolutely not. I very much do my own thing. Why do you even think there's a connection between us? Why should there be? We're nothing to do with each other.
No, not anymore, I suppose. After the incidents and stuff. But there's a lot of mythology around it, and you don't know what story to believe.
Well, there is a lot of mythology. I mean, obviously, I occupy a semi-fictional state, and that's a state that I very much enjoy. I am dependent upon people believing in me to some extent when they desire to communicate with me. That requires them to believe in me. But of course, I don't need them to believe in me for me to have effects upon them, if you see what I mean.
So it's not a placebo.
No, I mean, I am very much real, as you can tell. What more empirical evidence do you require, Damon, than to be having a conversation with me over Zoom?
No, I think that clears up that, Christmas is now very much a secular holiday. Do you do any of the do you adhere to any of the traditions? Is your tree up? Do you put up decorations?
Well, I mean, I like to keep the place nicely decorated. Of course I do. I like to think that I'm a very stylish sort of being. I've got some very attractive oak paneling, for example, in my office. And
Pine?
I have oak paneling. I have, and I have a desk tidy that I've made out of an
Pine?
upside down. No, it's a skull. It's an upside down skull, and it's quite a lot of bone themes around. I
And
do
pine,
like
probably, I expect.
pine. I don't really have any pine.
How tall is your tree?
Which one?
The Christmas one.
I don't really have a Christmas tree.
Do you not do that? You not put up a tree?
No.
No, it's very pagan origins. Goes back a long way. So you're just not into all of that religious stuff.
Well, there are trees, but the trees around where I live are very much like. Have you ever seen photographs of
Pines.
France and Belgium towards the end of the First World War?
Yeah.
Just barren, desolate spikes in the earth.
Yeah, it's waffles everywhere.
That's very much like how the forests look round by me. So they often have people skewered on them.
That makes sense.
People are. I like to stick people on the top of the trees.
Right, like an angel or a fairy.
They're not angels usually. No.
No, maybe a saint.
Yes, few of them.
Is there any truth? And I know this is why people take their trees down early. It used to be that, sort of pagan stuff. They used to think that, little impy spirits, evil kind of stuff mischievous thingies used to live inside the tree. And that's why they pulled them down. Is that true, or is that just kind of an urban legend?
Are there small creatures living in trees?
Yeah.
There are. Yes, they're called squirrels, caterpillars, moths, spiders, all manner of things like that. Some of them are my minions. But yes, your tree is full of life. Unless it's one of those plastic ones that you got from the pound shop. They're very much devoid of life.
For you, how long does Christmas last? And obviously, I'd like to get an official ruling on this. And you're obviously high up. So when should Christmas start and end?
Why do you think I should care about this?
Towards the end of the year, people often want deals from you, whether that be games, console packages, or hampers. Do you answer everyone that makes a kind of wish list, or?
I try to, certainly. I think if anybody desires to communicate with me and wishes to ask something of me, then of course I do everything within my powers to try to make that a realistic possibility for them. Of course I do. Yes, I try to make everybody's desires come true.
Now, how do the letters get to you, being as you have no actual address as such? You've been at the North Pole and all that.
Well, I don't live in the North Pole.
South Pole, sorry, yeah. That makes sense.
Very much in the South, yes. I live very much in the South. How do the letters get to me? Well,
the requests and...
Well, you mean when people ask something, when they want something from me? How do they...
Yeah.
Well, the crux of the matter is, and this is the really clever part, is that the actual physical medium of the communication is actually irrelevant. What matters is the intention, you see, the desire, the wish within the consciousness, within the spirit, within the soul, to reach out and make that contact, that communication. That is all that's required. It is actually an entirely non-physical process. It's very much like prayer. As long as you, within yourself, sincerely make that request, I will be able to hear you.
Is it true that you do visit people in their houses?
Oh, yes.
So how do you normally enter? Is it from, which we need to clear up the mythology, is it from above, the roof, from over the chimney, or by another means?
Well, I mean, I do like to arrive via the fireplace, obviously. It's a place of flames. And of course, I always arrive late at night because obviously that's when people expect me. Nobody expects me at lunchtime. I could come at lunchtime, but people are usually busy. It's late at night that people think of me.
Now, is it true you like gingerbread and mince pies left out for you when you visit?
Well, actually, I do like gingerbread and mince pies, yes.
Some myths are true based on
People
truth.
don't tend to leave them out for me though. Sometimes I will be it will be a goat tied to a stake. Sometimes it will be a virgin who's been sacrificed. Sometimes it's a witch. Not so much these days, although it does happen, but a bit old fashioned now. That sort of thing. Small animals.
Right. I suppose different parts of the world, slightly different traditions. That makes sense.
Yes, well, there is some degree of cultural relativism about it, yes.
What's it like working for you? So, are your little devils on minimum wage, or is it more of an apprenticeship scheme? How's their holiday pay?
It's always interesting talking to mortals about how one fills one's day. Very often it turns to questions of money. It's so funny to me how in your mortal existence, you're so concerned about income, about finances, about being paid out packages for loss of income, that sort of thing. I live beyond that. I transcend. I mean, do you really think that I would be able to do the sort of thing that I do with my powers if I was constrained by capitalism? There's no money involved as far as I'm concerned. However, where it is desirous to other people, where other people find it desirable, then perhaps I might be able to dabble on their benefit.
But you do have helpers. That's true, right?
Oh yes, I have plenty of little minions who do my bidding and do lots of work for me. Yes, lots of them.
I've got a few letters sent in. I wonder if you could. Am I okay reading them? Maybe getting your responses.
Questions for me?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, fire away.
Okay, this one's from little Timmy. He says, "My parents have told me that you send your little helpers to watch me atop a shelf or any other high vantage point. Is it true they report back to you about my behavior, or are my parents lying to me?"
Listen to me, little Timmy. You are always being watched. You are never alone.
Okay. Second, another question in. This one's from little Johnny. My parents have told me that Santa won't be getting me a PlayStation 5 this year because the elves haven't made enough consoles and Santa hasn't furloughed them properly. I thought I'd try and get an answer more directly. So is this true? Merry Christmas, little Johnny.
I haven't got the faintest idea.
Okay, that's yeah, you're probably not involved at ground level with all the. So there's loads of I imagine there's loads of branches and connections between you and.
I have no idea what the supply and demand situation of games consoles is this Christmas. No idea. Not at all. I mean, it's very much on the periphery of my concerns.
Yeah, but I assume, judging, there are supply demands and great shortages, according to my sources and the news. So no doubt people are frustrated, and they may even sort of want to sell their soul to get their hands on a new PlayStation 5. You must have had some sort of request or many instances of this happening.
That's true. That sort of thing does happen sometimes, yes. And perhaps the truth is, as we get closer to Christmas Eve, it's normally Christmas Eve when people start desperately praying to me, asking that they can get to the shopping center at 5 minutes to closing and get it precisely what they want.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they will, in their dark prayers, make some sort of pact.
They're desperate. That's true. That makes sense. Okay. Can you it's a fun little game I've got. Can you guess the top Christmas tree producing states of America. So I'm gonna give you get 1, 2, 3, 4. You get 6 goes. Okay. And here we go.
I mean, what?
Any of the states. So all 50
Why
states.
who cares? How is this a good use of anybody's time?
It's a Christmas special. So
what I just list states of America, and
Yep.
you say no or yes,
Mhm.
and 6 of them are the top Christmas tree producing states.
Of
So, for
America.
example, I say Texas, and you say no.
No.
Precisely, and then I say New York, and you say no, because
no.
it's going to be all the northern ones. There's no entertainment value in this. I've got much more important things to be doing than listing American states.
Yeah, I know, but it's kind of a bit that I've come up with for the show. So you just guess the top 6 states that produce Christmas trees, and then it's just great content, really.
Okay. You want to know the top 6 Christmas tree producing states in America?
Yeah, top 6, yeah. 6 guesses.
Okay, Oregon, Michigan, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Washington.
Yeah, that is right.
Well, that was fun.
What was the best? What's your best Christmas present you've ever been given? Best gift?
What is the best Christmas present I've ever been given? Well, there was one Christmas where there was an enormous tsunami. Do you remember that a few years ago?
Yeah,
Lots of pain and suffering. That was hilarious.
Was that what they were hoping for?
Well, I wasn't expecting it. You see, that wasn't my doing. I don't do tsunamis. That's very much God's work. You see,
Right. So there's a limit. There's a limit in what you can provide to people.
Well, yes, of course, there's a limit as to what I can do, but it's
Is it like £500, £600?
I've told you, capitalism holds no meaning for me. Money is no object when it comes to material.
It's physical.
goods.
You can hold it.
Yeah, those are merely IOUs. I think you'll find if you hold a banknote in your hand, it says, "I promise to pay the bearer." These are
Right.
physical tokens of a non-physical concept. Money is a non-physical concept. It's an entire fiction, and it holds no bounds or meanings for me. I can transcend money, capitalism.
Right, but we wouldn't have Zoom
Wouldn't have Zoom.
without.
How do you think I used to communicate with people before Zoom?
Skype?
I've always well, actually, yes, I did used to use Skype before Zoom took over. But before Skype, I could talk to people.
MSN Messenger.
MSN Messenger, yes. And prior to that,
AOL Instant Messenger.
AOL Instant Messenger, yes. And telephones before that. But
Morse
before
code.
all of Morse code, I have sometimes Morse code. Very few people understand it nowadays.
Yeah. Pigeons.
But pigeons, I have on
Bats.
occasion used pigeons. Bats, I've definitely used bats. They're tremendous for sending messages. But really,
Word of mouth.
Well, talking through mirrors is a favorite of mine. I like to manifest in people's dreams,
Okay.
appear to them while they're sleeping. In the depths of night.
Yeah. What do you make of all the films that get made about you kind of this time of year?
There are a number of films about me. Some of them I like, others I'm less keen on.
What's your relationship to the Krampus? Do you guys speak? Are you on speaking terms? Do you work together, apart? What goes on?
I have nothing to do with the Krampus because he is fictional and I am real.
You've heard it. There's no Krampus.
There's no Krampus, no.
So it's all you, good and bad. You just
yes, but
punish.
Depending on the belief system of the individual, I will sometimes tailor my appearance to what they prefer or expect. So I will do some degree of appearing differently. some degree of spiritual cosplay, if you will.
Is that why you can be sort of different sizes depending on?
Yes, I can change my size. I can change the
Thinner.
nature of my form. I could be slimmer. I could be larger. I could grow to an enormous size and consume your entire house with darkness if I chose.
Yeah. So you always you're well known for having great presence. And that's why depictions of you in film and cinema, as they are, you're a big part of people's lives. Especially towards the end of the year when things haven't been going so well. They're hoping for more. What this year has been people's biggest wish and hope? What kind of presents have there been? Gifts have been looking for?
People have been asking for money. Some of them want love. Some of them just want to be able to make it through the day. Food, a vaccine, all of these sorts of things have been stuff people have asked me for.
Well, I assume you've given us an early Christmas present in the vaccine front. Thank you for that.
I was not responsible for the vaccine. It's not in my interest really to have everybody vaccinated against illness.
No, okay.
Not what I do.
Right. So, who was that then?
Well, it's a team of scientists at various locations around the globe. I've done a fair bit of sitting on Facebook though, spreading misinformation. That's always fun.
Right. Oh, so you work a lot with fascist regimes and communist regimes.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Anybody who wants to stir up mischief, basically.
Yeah. Well, the red state, the red guy. Yeah. The red. You like red?
I do like red. Yes.
Yeah.
I do like scarlet, blood red.
Now, what is it that you wear when you visit people? I've heard the term fur thrown around. Do you wear a hat? Is that true?
I don't normally wear a hat, no.
How do you transport yourself to people's homes? Is it some sort of vehicle?
I transmit my souls and my very essence, and I do so with rapidity, faster than the speed of light. That's how I manage to traverse great distances, and I can even manifest in multiple places simultaneously.
Right. I suppose that's why, because you're moving so fast, people can't see you. They have to just imagine what it would be.
They imagine me, they believe me. So that's how I manifest as they expect to see me. So how I appear to you now, may not be how I necessarily appear to somebody else.
Okay, we end as always with the last question, and that is, what was the fifth cracker and fifth cheese of my Christmas cheese board last Christmas? I can't remember, but what were they and why?
What was the fifth cheese on your cracker?
Mm-hmm. And the fifth cracker.
Was it some Rock 4 on a Jacob's cracker?
No.
Okay. Will that be all?
Yeah. A lot.
Okay, and do I just to be clear, I do get your soul now, don't I? That was the agreement, wasn't it? I mean, you never actually said that in the email, but I thought that was clear. That's
I'll get. You know what? No, that's absolutely fine. I can get some more.
Smashing
from Document. So I'll pop them in the post. What address is it? Free post or?
No, I get it at the end. I get your soul at the end.
Right. How am I sending them?
Just when you finish with it, I'll just have it.
Yeah, I finished with them like the other day. But I mean, do I have to put it in an envelope or what's the system?
No, I'll just be able to claim it as soon as you've properly finished with it.
Well, yeah. What? When though?
Well, I don't know. I'd have to look on the schedule to see when you're due to.
Right. Is it like My Hermes? You just come and pick it up.
Look,
In the
you don't
morning.
need to worry about that. I just need to make sure that I've got it not in writing, but in verbal agreement on record that I can take it. Because if I don't,
Yeah,
somebody
well,
else will.
Yeah, no, definitely. You can have myself. Yeah.
Excellent. Good. That's the only reason I agreed to do this podcast. Right. Well, now that's all done and wrapped up, I'll bid you adieu. Cheers.
Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. Whew. That was a good one. That was a good one. Interesting to hear stuff from the horse's mouth. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, I liked it. Who are you?
Who the bloody hell do you think I am? Boy George.
No, but is it Santa? Is it you?
Yeah, of course it's me.
It's because you're in your work clothes. I didn't recognise you. Yeah, thanks for coming on. That was a good. That was a good podcast, man. I appreciate
We haven't
it.
done it yet.
We just did it.
We haven't done it. I've been. You gave me the time and the link, and I've been sitting in the little waiting room for an hour waiting for you to authorise me onto the call. I haven't done anything. I've got loads to get done, and I've just been sitting waiting here. And I'll be honest with you, it's made me a bit cross.
So that wasn't you.
What wasn't me?
I've just done a podcast with you.
Who the bloody hell have you just done a podcast with? You emailed me. You said Santa.
I think I made a typo.
I could do without idiots like you wasting my time. I'm very busy at this time of year.
Right. Have you got have you got time to do it now, or?
I've got 2 minutes. Hurry up about it.
Okay. What was the 5th cheese and the 5th cracker of my cheese board last Christmas?
Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Is that it then? Are we done?
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
Merry bloody Christmas.
Merry bloody Christmas.